Good morning, Singapore. It's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman, joined by Dr. Geraldine Tan this morning. Gerry from the therapy room.
Morning.
Good morning,
Gerry.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You're beautiful. You know, the light that's coming in is beautiful. We all feel energized every time you're with us, Gerry.
You did mention that they come and listen on air and to come into Facebook Live to see beautiful people, isn't it? So we must show them beautiful things.
That is true, actually. I did mention that earlier on, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I pay attention.
Okay, so today we're talking about decluttering, Gerry.
Yes. And you mentioned, and I think FD also mentioned, is it spiritual? Is it emotional? Is it, physical? Maybe it's all of the above, right?
Well, I don't know. I find physical decluttering very therapeutic. And I do it quite often. I don't feel intimidated by having to go into a storeroom and go, okay, let's see what's in here. What are we using? What do we need? What don't we need? Let's get rid of it. There is some stuff I do keep, particularly stuff that is connected to my children, stuff like that, connected to my years of marriage. Yes. But, as time goes by, you collect a lot of rubbish. Particularly with online buying now. A lot of rubbish. You buy it thinking it's a great idea, and then you never use it. So, I find it incredibly therapeutic. And during the circuit breaker, I did a lot of clearing out.
Which is what Gerry said just now. Right, Gerry? During this COVID-19 lockdown period, many people have been clearing out their houses.
Yes. So it was a chaotic period. But I think before we even look at throwing away, a lot of people look at decluttering as throwing away things. But I'm very puzzled, why do we equate it to throwing away? Because declutter is to not make a clutter, or when there is a clutter, to look at that clutter and reorganize the clutter. And, inadvertently, maybe we look at certain things and we go, okay, maybe I should throw away some of the items. And that's why you throw it away, because, there's no more use, or it's outlived, or it's expired, or whatever it is. So maybe a nicer way to think about it is not throwing away things, but organizing things.
Yeah, because some people get carried away. You agree, Gerry? They just throw everything away, because I've had experiences. I mean, some friends of mine, they hadn't cleared out their store in ages, right? So what they did was they just dumped everything and not really opening certain things up as well. They just after a while, okay, I'm just going to get rid of this. So, the clothes, etc. And they dumped everything at the Salvation Army, if I'm not mistaken, right? After a few days, they were regretting not checking the boxes of things that they threw out. And so it started to worry them, and they went back to the Salvation Army to look for the stuff, rummage through the stuff that they had just dumped, and brought back some of the things that they threw away.
Oh my.
So the Salvation Army should have made them pay for it.
I'm sure they did.
But this is what I mean, you see. Many people feel good throwing things away for that moment. And then some might start to have second thoughts. You know what I mean? So as much as a lot of people always say it's so cleansing, just to throw things away, I think it's important to make sure you know what you're throwing away.
Of course, that's not called decluttering already. That's called throwing away things. No. When we talk about decluttering, there's this it's very therapeutic. Many people will find it therapeutic if it is done mindfully. Yeah, not mindlessly.
Right.
So that one was mindlessly I chuck, it doesn't help. Yeah, so they didn't feel lighter after all. They feel heavier.
Exactly.
We have one of our fans sharing something about decluttering. And
Yes.
earlier we asked, why is it so difficult? And Nurjana Ng says, because the item was something one could never afford again. Because decluttering means letting go, and one is not ready to let go. And the items hold memories. It takes a
Yes.
lot of courage to live with little things when you once had a lot, or once had none, or suffered. You were right. It's all related to a mental issue. So it's not physical, but it's a mental issue. That's what Nurjana feels.
Yeah. So we talk about 5 different people, or 5 different kinds of people that kind of keep things, right? And I thank the Jana for writing in, and it's a very painful process. That's why Marie Kondo is so popular. The does it spark joy sort of statement. So the first biggest people that kind of keep things are the sentimental people. Every single item, even a ribbon, holds so much meaning. So everything has so much weight. It's valued with a lot of memories, a lot of, it doesn't have to be love, but it can be a lot of thoughts that is in one thing. So you have people like, I had this little girl, she wouldn't even throw away a sweet wrapper.
Oh.
Yeah, because she says, what if, I cannot remember about this day anymore. So it was so important for her. Yeah, but we managed to get her to chuck it afterwards.
So cute. Is this a girl thing or not?
Sorry?
Is it a girl thing? 'Cause I think boys will just chuck everything.
No, I don't think so.
No.
They have different things that they keep. So the sentimental one is a big one. Let me go with the second type. The second type is the I can't be bothered. Just put it there lah. Just put it there. And everything gets put there until it piles up. And they don't bother to sort it out. Yeah. So that's the second one. The third one is the always prepared. Cannot throw. We will use them one day. And the one day sometimes takes a very long time to come. But when the one day come, you see the eyes light up and go, see, can use, right? And we go like, okay, yeah, maybe. So they're always prepared. Right? And the fourth one is a fun one. The fourth one is the sayang people. Ayo, sayang lah, don't throw.
Yeah.
So are we saying that the Sayang people are all Peranakans, is it?
Wait, hold that thought. Hold that thought while we play your song from Top Loader. Here's Dancing in the Moonlight on 1FM 91.3. We are with Dr. Gerry Tan.
Okay, we're back.
I think it's true, lah. It's the Peranakan.
It's definitely.
all, especially the Katong people.
Have you been to the Peranakan Museum?
Oh no.
They need to
Fun
declutter.
to do that accent and that impression.
Are you Peranakan, Gerry?
No.
Okay. So sayang. It sounded so Peranakan.
No. But it's just funny because we hear that a lot. Like,
Yes.
it's such a waste.
The older generation, for sure. They are definitely the sayang generation. My grandmother's time. Oh, everything was sayang lah, don't throw. I'm sure we'll use it someday. And she got like 400 different pots and pans, and all about the same size. So I'm like, Ma, why do you need so many? Sayang lah, boy. This one was given to me by auntie. This was given to me by auntie. That when she
So
passed away,
cute lah.
she gave me her whole kitchen set. So I can't throw it.
Of course, lah. I won't
think
throw it
you
away
find-
also.
Yeah, but when you got like 600 plates in your and there's no more space, how?
Sayang.
No, but I think the Sayang people I think the Sayang people have a little bit of the sentimental and the always prepared in them.
Yes. So it's not very clear, but the fourth one is just fun to do, and I had to slip it in.
Sayang. And what's the last one?
Oh, the last one. That's where the boys usually come in. I call them the experts.
Experts,
Because when they have a hobby, have you seen the mess they create? This is everything they keep. I can see Glenn looking very sheepish now.
That's why I have a store.
Not even storeroom, a store unit.
Yeah. They go, oh, well, I need this for, and it's always, I need this for, but when you have, like, if you're doing, I'm not sure, you build models, you have 10 million sprays already. Why do you need another spray? Or you have 10 different screwdrivers. Why do you need the 11th screwdriver?
Actually, you need 12. Because I have 12.
It's a sickness, no, really. It's a sickness.
FD, FD has been a little bit sheepish this whole morning. Do you have a decluttering problem, FD? I sense it. I sense it.
I don't have a decluttering problem. I can reorganize my stuff, get rid of everything I don't want. My problem is 8 weeks later, it's all back again.
How?
Because you just end up going, that's a good idea. I think we'll get that. And then I think we'll get that. Forgetting that yesterday you just threw out a ton of stuff that you don't need.
Actually,
you don't even want.
FD will be perfectly fine as long as Michelle is there with him.
Yes.
Because Michelle keeps everything spick and span,
Yes.
and neat in the house. So I think if he gets out of hand, he'll be put in his place straight away.
She will declutter him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's why we need to declutter every so often. It shouldn't be a one-time thing, and that's why I think we have the spring cleaning, so we call it the spring cleaning, and usually people do it closer to Chinese New Year. Yeah, where you declutter, reorganize.
Yeah, that used to be a pain in the ass as far as I was concerned. Because my mom will always get my brother and myself to help us spring clean, right? Oh, we used to hate that time of the year, man. Because she was one of those meticulous ones, no? Where even the ceiling also, we got to go to the corner, make sure there are no cobwebs and all
drill
that.
Sergeant, she was the drill
sergeant. Man.
Take the white glove and then go around.
Not a speck of dust. So when I went to the army and my sergeants came about, hey, Onga, got dust down here. I was confident, no dust. Because I was well trained.
Well trained.
I was well trained, and we used to help her like clear out stuff as well. Get the karangoni guy. Look out for the karangoni guy, because we would then pass stuff to him back in the day. But yeah, after the whole process, we used to feel quite good.
Of course
We
you do,
hated-
because you're better organized.
Yeah, we hated the maybe we were just happy because it was over. The spring cleaning was over for the next year. We wouldn't have to spring clean the house. So that was the good feeling, though.
Nice. But it's also why we need that. It's also because we somehow have more space. When you reorganize, your perception or that visual perception is that you have more space. Everything is neater. Everything is more organized. Everything is in their space. Everything is compartmentalized. So now you also feel ready to then, go out without the mess, without the heaviness. So that's one part of it.
So SF Lee, one of our fans on Facebook, say, I've worked at the Salvation Army before, and it's very true. There are many people who come back to search for things they've donated to the Salvation Army. I find that quite bizarre.
Right. You know what those people are called? Idiots.
Glenn.
as Gerry mentioned early on, you can't be mindless when you do these things. But there are many people who can't be bothered. You see, they think to themselves, right? Okay, maybe it's best if I don't know, lah. If I open this box, I'm going to be keeping everything. It's going to be a waste of time. So, okay, I don't know what's in there. I'm just going to get rid of it. So, there are people like that. There are people who do things like that. They throw things away based on exactly that. Not knowing what I'm throwing away, so it's not going to hurt me.
Can that whole cluttered environment be passed down to children? That's the question I want to deal with next, okay? Whether or not it can be passed down.
That was so funny where you froze there for a while. We're like, okay, yep. 1,000, 2,000.
Decluttered his internet also.
Are you asking if it's contagious, FD?
Something like that. I'll bring it up next.
Sting! Gordon Sumner. Fields of Gold on 1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits. It is Therapy Tuesday with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room.
Morning, Geraldine. Thanks so much for joining us.
Morning.
And this morning we are talking about decluttering. Now, yes. Mommy Kang, who listens to us all the time, said, my mother-in-law won't even throw away my husband's toys and textbooks from his childhood.
Oh, so sweet.
My husband is 44 years old. Problem is, my husband has inherited her trait. He hangs on to school books, PE t-shirts, pencil boxes. Is this something that can influence your kids?
Oh, very difficult to answer, but I guess in the same environment, if you're exposed to it for a long period of time, you partake in that behavior, tendency for you to buy into that process and that behavior would be higher. So I mean, it's unless it is a disorder, there's no genetic predisposition. But if it's not a clinical issue, you're exposed to it, yes, you will kind of and you don't resist it. You buy into it and do it.
How does it become a clinical issue? How does it become a disorder? Is it because the person is guilty?
Guilty of what?
Because they've been brought up, right? Their parents have always told them, don't throw this, sayang la, this and that, So when they grow up, they feel the same way. It's like, hey, I feel like throwing this away, but you know what mom said when I was growing up, it's like, don't waste or don't. So they think twice, they think 3 times before throwing things away. And when they eventually do, they feel a bit bad doing it.
That could be a thought process, that could be a habit that they have developed over the years to kind of qualify as a disorder. So I want to introduce our little Bible here.
DSM-5.
Yes, so all the disorders are in there, and the disorder. So I want to introduce to everyone. That's where we get all our definitions for diagnosis. Not all, but the diagnosis there. So hoarding disorder, and it's really in the book. It is a disorder, and it has to be persistent. It has to be distressing for the person to throw away, like as if one part of the body is being taken away. There needs to be impairment to different parts of their life. Social impairment, they can't function at work. We've seen hoarders. They don't even see that there is a problem because the whole space is just all filled with things, and they still don't see that it is a problem. So it must affect many different areas before it kind of qualifies as a disorder. So if husband or wife has an annoying habit, that's a habit lah. That's not quite a disorder, but we use the word disorder very loosely. And say, hey, you got disorder, you better go and see someone. Please don't do that to your spouse.
Mary Ann Siam has shared something with us. She says a lot of the issues are upstream. Singaporeans are generally prone to mindless consumerism and overbuying, and it is a form of relief for many people who can't find any convenient avenues to manage their restlessness and narrow outlook on life.
It's therapeutic, I have to say. Receiving something, in the mail, or someone delivering an item that you've ordered a few weeks ago. It's like, there's a present coming today. For me, it does make you feel good. And what are we at in terms of the level right now, Gerry? Because everyone is comfortable. Well, most people are comfortable shopping online these days. Has that become a little bit of a problem? Because from time to time, FD and myself hear about people who just, for no reason at all, they just make a purchase online. Right. So, right.
I hear, and I mean, not even from my kids, but from other people, where friends of theirs are buying for the sake of buying.
Yeah.
Because it's there.
They're just on their phone all the time, at a certain site. Okay, I think I'll just buy this. It might not be an expensive item. It could be a cheap item, but they just need to buy. They need to buy.
That leaves them halfway through the month with next to no money left. And then all kinds of stress factors start to come in.
So let's look at what to declutter. So you've just hit one thing that I wanted to say: declutter your apps.
That's a good point.
Declutter the apps on the phone. I was just looking at my phone the other day, and my son commented, right? He says, "Mommy, why do you have so many apps?" And he goes, "You've got 4 pages, but I only have 2." And that really just woke me up, and I was like, yeah, why do I have so many apps? Honestly, how many apps do I go into? What are useful for me? What are not useful for me? What are some things that, we can kind of park aside already and say goodbye to? So, our phone holds a lot inside one tiny little device.
Yes.
I actually want to focus. We were focusing on the physical aspect. Maybe after we come back, we can focus on our phone. I get really worried.
I have 9 pages.
9 pages? 9 of what?
Now you know who has the storage problem. Everybody has a store unit.
That's why.
Okay.
Only 3.
It's 8:25.
Life in time check by Budgie.
Okay, let me confess. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do I have so many?
See?
5.
You see, this
Five
is so
and a half.
strange.
All right, 5.5.
Okay,
I got
okay.
3,
Now
yeah.
wait a second, Glenn.
Oh, Shaun
you
has
use
3,
it-
boy.
3.
Okay, Andre, you're on iOS, right?
Correct.
Glenn, you're on iOS.
Yes.
I'm on Android. When you
Okay.
buy an Android phone, it comes with numerous apps that you never use.
Right.
The first thing I do is clump everything I'm not going to use and throw it to the back.
Okay.
So my final page, my third page, is apps that I will never use, so I never go there.
But you see, that's what do you call, that doesn't count, lah. It doesn't count
why?
unless you get rid of it completely. You still have it at the back of your phone.
But I'm not using it.
Yeah,
I
but still.
pushed it away.
Then why don't you just get rid of all of them?
That is true. Why don't I get rid of
You know
all
what
of
I mean?
them?
Organized, not
I
throw
have
away,
I
organized.
have my apps organized the same way. So the apps that I write at the back are the apps that I don't really use.
Big
All
But
the
You
apps,
have 9 pages.
I know. Everything that I have on my first page, my banking app, my social media apps, it's all there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there are my fitness apps and all that's further back.
So is Glenn right? I should be deleting all these things rather than pushing them to the back, Gerry?
I was so amused at the interaction. Glenn managed to guilt you into just distracting away
Yeah.
or taking away the attention from him.
Yeah.
Glenn's an expert at that.
Problem. Oh my
See,
god!
you have the problem, Glenn. I do not have the problem.
The best part
you
is
have the problem.
The best part is the guy with 9 pages is advising the guy with 3 pages what to do.
pages.
How does that even
What the hell?
No, simply because he said that those are apps that he will never use. So it just came to my mind, right? If you're never going to use those apps, then why don't you just get rid of the
Which is true.
apps altogether?
But you don't use 9 pages of app.
9.
My 9 precious pages.
See, thank goodness Jerry's here to come to my
Oh,
defense.
Jerry can see through me.
Okay, we got one fan who's got quite an interesting solution. His name is Fio Miat Tu. Says, what we can do is we try to digitize the physical items by taking photos of them before throwing them away. In this way, you can try to declutter while you still have a memory recorded in some digital form, which you can view again later.
Who does that? Like who?
I think it's a good idea, particularly for Frida, because Frida says she does declutter physically. She takes all the stuff out, she looks at it, she throws away whatever she wants. Then when she tries to put it back, it doesn't fit. I don't know.
Frida!
She's so cute. Yeah, but it's a very good idea. I've got a lot of people telling me that, you know, the physical photographs, they have now converted it into digital ones and they've just stored it onto a thumb drive. So, yeah, or the cloud.
Yeah.
And then they will have a shoebox full of thumb drives that one day when they declutter, they will throw the entire shoebox away.
Oh no!
Aaron Cole
That's
said he decluttered all his ex-girlfriends.
They blocked it as different.
Terrible.
Does he feel
Aaron
good? Does he
Cole,
feel good?
I like to declutter my naggy girlfriends. He's got an S in them.
Okay, stand by. We're coming back on air now.
1.3 traffic.
Well, we've got 1 or 2 delays across the expressways. That's all quite normal for this morning. Kranji Slip Road near the Kranji Road junction, that was a bit of a problem, a vehicle broken down there. SLE towards the BKE, an accident after Woodlands Avenue 2. AYE towards the MCE, vehicle broken down before Lower Delta Road exit. And also on the AYE towards the MCE, a vehicle broken down before Jurong Town Hall Road. Stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
1FM 91.3, it's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman on this Tuesday morning, the 28th of July, 2020. It's Therapy Tuesday with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. We're talking about decluttering this morning. And decluttering, we've established that decluttering and hoarding, they're obviously related because people who don't declutter enough become hoarders. But I think in Singapore, we don't have serious hoarders, right?
Oh, we do. Oh, we do.
We do.
We have serious hoarders.
do.
Yeah, we
I
do.
have seen reports in the papers. We have major hoarders.
What would be a serious hoarder?
And you know, being a real estate salesperson, I have come across some serious hoarders.
As in how serious?
Oh, you won't even believe what I've
As in
seen.
what do you see?
Okay, the worst one I've seen is a landed property, so obviously worth millions of dollars.
And it's a big...
It's a big property.
yeah.
But you know what? The lady was so... I mean, I really felt sorry for that. It was an old lady. And she literally had a path in her house where things were not placed. But everything else, there were plastic bags and bags and bags and bags of things. So you couldn't see her furniture, you couldn't see anything, but if you wanted to go to the toilet, she would just tell you, okay, follow that path. You go to the room, you follow that path, but the rest of the house is just filled with plastic bags of things. What things? No one knows. Even she's not sure what's in it.
Wow.
But she can't throw it. She's an old lady. I mean, that was the worst I saw.
Geraldine, I think you need to go down and talk to that old lady.
But these are serious conditions.
It is. It is. And if you try to throw it away, it's literally, trying to take their life away from them. Yeah, it's very painful.
Have you experienced patients like that with hoarding problems?
Not so much in the private practice. Yeah. but the government sector would have come across quite a number of them. The HDB officers
Yes.
who get the calls and say my neighbor is a hoarder, come across many cases like that, and they have to deal with them. So I do kind of work with the HDB officers in the past to kind of tell them how to approach them.
Right.
Yeah, because they are very sensitive, or they get very aggressive because they're protecting their territory.
Right. So, I mean, worst case scenario, right? I mean, if these officers have to rip them apart from their items, right? In terms of the emotional level, what is the worst you've seen, Gerry? How do they react? What goes through their minds when they're separated from their beloved goods?
It's very painful, so the process needs to be quite gentle. Yeah, so it's like taking away their life. Sometimes they articulate the words, "You might as well kill me," before you take away the thing. So it can be as extreme as that. But I mean, not all the cases are so extreme. So they try to have them to see some doctors or therapists before they do anything about it.
All right. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, it's almost time for us to leave you. Do you have any final words? And maybe we should end off on a very positive note.
Yes, and you know what I want to know, Gerry? How can we be little Jerrys to help friends who we realize have problems with decluttering?
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 2 little tips that how we can approach them, because you said the most important thing is to be gentle with them, because you know when we see a decluttering problem, we just call the fella, "Hey, karang go ni, throw your stuff."
Yeah.
That's all we say.
Oh, there are different avenues. One, we can tap on their altruistic self. People love to give away things to someone else. So if I know that it's going to be valued by someone else, I'm more inclined to give them. Yeah, you can't do that with apps, but you can do that with physical things.
9 pages. Boom, 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 boom.
So like even for the pots, right? Like if grandma doesn't want to give it away, it's like, oh, who can use it? So she feels okay to give Andre, right? But she's not okay to throw it away.
It's not being chucked, it's being repurposed.
Yes.
Great idea.
But
repurpose is another thing that upcycling is another thing that we can use it for. So old clothes. So now a lot of people are having the face masks.
Right.
But have you ever wondered where all these cloth come from?
Clothes, t-shirts, and all that. Blouses.
Yes.
Right?
So old clothes that may have gone out of fashion. So the older generation might love to just make them into face masks. So it is being used. They feel very valued,
right,
that their items are being used, and they don't feel it's sayang to cut because now they are prepared for it.
Right. I'm just afraid some people might use their underwear. They used underwear to make, masks.
Oh my God.
Not the front part, the backside part. You never know.
Glenn has a full
Only
black...
Glenn would think of that, Nobody else, only Glenn.
Glenn has a full black face mask. It was one of Jean's old dresses, he said, which he repurposed. There, the one he got there. Show there. The black
This one. One of her little black dresses.
So he made it into a
actual
mask.
size.
Very well done.
They're pulling your leg.
I don't want to really go there. Is it okay?
No, they're lying. They're lying. They just made that up.
The last one is very fun. When you have a get together, the guys can't do this. So I've already made fun of the guys with the expert part. But the other one for the girls is, have you ever seen our bags, especially the girls with the big bags?
Yes.
It's just fun to go through the bag and say, hey, how many rolls do you play? As in, how many different roles do you juggle? And it's quite funny to see what we have in there. It can be like ticket stubs. It can be like receipts from I don't know when. The hand wipes from a restaurant, and it's quite fun to go through all of that and start clearing that. But imagine you look into your friends, and we have that natural curiosity, right? When somebody opens the bag, we kind of like take a little peek there. Yeah, might as well just pour everything out and then look at it and say, okay, what do you have in the bag?
You talk about
not under the hat, but in the bag.
in the bag. You talk about those tote bags, right? Where you can just dump things in.
I'm guilty as charged. So I've got this huge bag.
It's practical.
I look like I'm running away every day.
Bag lady.
Out of curiosity, Gerry, when was the last time you emptied out your bag?
I haven't emptied it for I think a few months.
Well, I'm sure everything in there is essential, right?
No, I don't think so. You're very kind, but no. I will declutter. We practice what we preach.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Gerry, for joining us once again. Always a pleasure.
Very fun to be with everyone today.
Likewise. We'll see you next
Take
week.
care. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.